It's time to fire this thing up.
Welcome aboard ShipShape TV Essentials. This is your port of call for the most impactful upgrades, expert advice, and hands-on solutions from seasons past. This episode is proudly brought to you by SureHold, because anything worth doing is worth doing bright. From cleaning to protecting and perfecting, SureHold has everything you need to keep your boat shining. Don't just go boating, go showboating. Now, let's hoist anchor and set a course for another exciting episode of ShipShape TV Essentials.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. ShipShape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, ShipShape means trouble-free. ShipShape means being neater. ShipShape makes boat work easier. ShipShape is the way to go. The ShipShape Boat Care Show.
ShipShape is being brought to you in part by High Seas Fabrication, the finest in marine metal fabrication, and by Stella Marine, a crest above the rest, and by Ocean Marine, worldwide excellence in marine air conditioning.
Welcome to ShipShape, the boat improvement show. I'm your host, John Greviskis, and this is my partner, the towering one himself, Burt Dell.
Howdy, folks.
We're on location today in Stuart, Florida, at High Seas Fabrication, and today's show is a good one.
Today we're going to be installing a tower on a 29-foot Blackfin.
And as always, if there's a project that you'd like to see us cover here at ShipShape, write us a letter or send us a fax.
Write your project suggestions to ShipShape, the TV show. Attention Project Director, Post Office Box 31561, Palm Beach Gardens, Florida 33420. Or fax us at area code 407-626-4348.
If you're thinking about putting a tower on your boat or having any marine metal fabrication done, stick around, because after this short break, we'll introduce you to Dave Ireland, the owner of High Seas Fabrication.
Don't float away. ShipShape will be right back.
Hi, I'm Barry Burhoff with SureHold Industries. Look at this guy and all the stuff he needs to maintain his boat. I guarantee you he'll be tripping on that all day long. Forget that nonsense. Use the SureHold family of products featuring the one handle that does it all. SureHold has over 40 different quality attachments that easily locks into place. Deck brushes, mops, squeegees, scrubbers, paddles, boat hooks, and even a camera adapter. Whether it's for your car, truck, RV, or boat, keep it clean and simple with SureHold products.
With me today is Dave Ireland, the owner of High Seas Fabrication. Dave, welcome to ShipShape.
Thank you, John.
Now, what exactly do you do out here at High Seas Fabrication, Dave?
Okay, we're a complete marine metal fabrication shop. We specialize in products made of anodized aluminum, mill finish aluminum, and stainless steel. Towers are probably our biggest mainstay of work here. We range from half towers, T-tops, full towers, low profile towers. Any accessory on your boat, bow rails, cockpit shades, anything made of anodized aluminum, or anything we could do to equip your boat better for fishing.
I understand. Well, we've had quite a few requests to actually cover a show talking about towers, and we know that that's your specialty.
Right.
When somebody wants a tower for their boat, what types of options do they have, Dave?
Okay, like I said, you have the option of a shorter tower, which we would call a low profile tower, a full tower, which gives you a separation between the sunshade and the standing platform. As far as accessories, the ranges, you can go over the canvas top, you can go the molded fiberglass hardtop, which is more expensive. It really depends on how much the customer wants to put into the boat and what their needs are or requirements.
Price-wise, what are we talking about when somebody is considering a tower?
It can range anywhere from $6,000 to $50,000, depending on the type of boat and the type of tower or what accessories we put into that boat.
So it's a serious investment, and it's something that should really be researched.
Yes, it is.
What's the first step involved in actually putting a tower on your boat?
Determining what type of tower the customer wants. Then we would go to the boat, design it, take measurements, come inside and make a preliminary drawing.
Now, once you have the measurements down, can you kind of give the customer a choice and say, okay, here, with these particular measurements, this is what a full tower is going to look like on your boat. This is what a half tower is going to look like on your boat.
Right. In fact, it really does, depending on the boat, whether you have like a day boat, like the 29 Blackfin, which we're going to be setting a tower on today, or if you have a larger sport fish boat. Each boat sometimes lends itself to looking better with a low profile tower or a full tower. And I would give those recommendations to the customer, and based on his needs, he would make a decision.
Well, how about if we go out and measure up the boat?
Sounds good.
Well, here we are on the 29-foot Blackfin, and Dave, what's up with this great tape here?
Okay, what this is a protective tape. We use it to cover all our boats to make sure we don't scratch the gel coat or the paint work.
That's a great idea. Now, how do we go ahead and measure this boat out?
Okay, this boat is a day boat. Just the way it's laid out without having a fly bridge pretty much tells us that we have to run the controls and steering down the back legs of the tower.
Okay.
The first step is to locate where we're going to put our back legs, which we know is going to be right in this area here. We reach underneath. We've already taken a look, and we know that we have clear access from this point into the engine compartment.
So you'll have enough room to actually bolt the leg onto the boat.
To bolt the leg and also run the hoses and cables into the engine compartment.
So we have all of our controls. We'll be able to steer the boat from up top.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Our next step would be to take a few measurements.
Okay.
We want to locate our back legs here.
All righty.
Okay, so if you can give me a measurement. Okay, we've got 109 inches.
109 inches, right. So that's going to be our base.
For the back legs of our tower. Next thing to do, let's go up front and locate where they're going to be.
Let's do it. Now, one thing to consider when we're talking about the front legs is the room here to walk around the tower. Now, what we've decided to do is go ahead and mount the front legs right here on the side of the hull. This way, it's going to allow ample room to get around, as well as on the inside, give us the ability to bolt the leg onto the hull. Now, Dave, how do we go ahead and measure the front here?
Okay, John, what I've decided, or what we've determined, as you said, we want to mount the leg right here. So, taking into consideration the thickness of the pipe of the front leg that we're going to use to allow us for the bend to return into the side, if you could hold this...
How far out?
About 3 inches.
Okay.
That'll do it. And I'll get a port to starboard dimension on our front legs.
What are we looking at there, Dave?
That's going to give us 99 inches on center.
Okay.
Okay.
So now we have the front legs set up, the back legs set up. Do we need to measure the distance between the two?
Exactly. That
How
would be
about
the
if I
next
run
step.
back and we'll do that?
That sounds good.
Coming back here to our original mark, this will give us the distance between the back legs and the forward legs.
Okay.
What are we looking at?
Looking at 140 inches. John.
Okay.
Make a note of that.
Now, Dave, what are some other considerations that we need to look at?
Okay, while we're up here, to really get the nice aesthetics of the tower, what we want to do is have the front leg of the tower follow the windshield angle.
Now, how do we get that angle?
Okay, we have a piece of equipment here called an inclinometer.
Okay.
Okay, what that we want to do is just measure this, and it'll give us the pitch of the windshield. Okay, we're looking at 38 degrees here.
38 degrees.
So that's the angle we want to try and follow with our front leg.
Okay, great.
Okay. The next step, we want to measure our the area that we want to cover with the sunshade. So I think we'll come down there and take a look at that. Okay, John, what we want to do now is determine the size of our sunshade.
Right, how do we do that?
Length and width. To get our width, we just measure from the outside of the windshield on the starboard side to the outside on the port side.
Okay. Right on the edge here?
Yes. Okay, that gives us 91 inches.
All right, so that's the width of our sunshade.
Right, exactly. The next thing we want to do is determine the length. How we do that, if you could hold this at the front edge of the windshield.
All right.
That's where we want it to end in the front.
Now, Dave, how far back is this going to go?
Okay, as you see, we have a separation between the cockpit area and our foredeck area.
Right.
To allow maximum fishing on the boat, we don't want to have our sunshade extend too far into the cockpit.
Gotcha.
So what we're going to do is end it right about here, right at the engine beds or the seats, okay? And that gives us about 121 inches.
Okay, great. Now, are there any other measurements that we need to take into consideration?
Okay, we need to there's a difference between where our back leg mounts in height, as in reference to the deck where you stand. So that's going to help determine the height of our sunshade.
Okay.
So we want to take a measurement of that and see what the difference is.
What do you have there?
We've got a straight edge here, which makes it a little easy to get.
That makes it convenient.
Okay. What do we have here?
It looks like 18 1/4.
Okay. So we need to take that into consideration when we design the tower.
Okay. Now, does the height of the boat owner have anything to do when we're talking about the height of the sunshade?
Yes, it does. Okay, we have a standard height, which we kind of go by, a little plus or minus, which is about 80 inches or 6'8".
Okay.
Okay, if the customer's taller, we'll raise the tower up to accommodate him.
Okay.
We try to keep the towers as low as possible, just for aesthetics. Okay, it looks a lot nicer to have the sunshade close to the height of the windshield.
Well, now that we have all the measurements laid out, why don't we go inside and do up a couple of drafts?
Sounds good. Let's go. Okay, John, we're putting the finishing touches on our tower that we've designed for the 29 Blackfin. What we have here is a low-profile tower, which means you stand on the main sunshade. There is no separation between the sunshade and where you stand and operate the boat. Some of the options on this particular tower is the arch shade, which provides shade when you're in the tower, obviously.
Which is right here.
Right.
Okay.
It's a little difficult to see. We'll show you out on the actual tower, but this is a walk-through option which enables easy access into the tower. The controls and steering are housed in this control box, which is right here. For this particular customer, we gave him the option of this type of tower or a full tower. And so what we did was draw a full tower on that same boat.
Okay.
The difference between a full tower and a low-profile tower is a separation, as I said, between the main sunshade and the platform.
Height-wise, what are we looking at?
Anywhere from 3 to 8 feet difference between a low-profile tower and a full tower.
Now, on the 29 Blackfins particularly, what are we looking at height-wise?
Probably about 4 feet.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, we have the arch shade here.
Right.
And this is the control panel?
Yes, control box, which houses the steering wheel or the helm, and the control heads, and any other equipment that they might want to put up there.
Okay. And your access ladder coming up into this? And pretty much how this thing's all laid out.
Right.
Dave, why don't we do this? Why don't we head out and hook up with Burt and physically see the difference between a full tower and a low-profile tower?
Sounds good.
Let's go.
Hey, Burt. Hey, Dave. Why don't you come on down and we'll run over the differences between a full tower and a low-profile tower.
Sure. Dave, this is a really nice tower you have here. You want to tell me a little bit about it?
Thanks, Burt. What we have here is a full tower. The difference between the full tower and a low-profile tower is the fact that on the low-profile tower, you actually stand on the sunshade, and that's where you operate the controls and steering, the second station. In a full tower, there's an actual separation between the main sunshade and the standing platform. It can be anywhere from 3 to 8 feet or higher.
Right.
On this tower, this customer, he chose to go with a molded fiberglass hardtop in lieu of canvas.
I noticed your hardtop has recessed areas in it.
Right. The reason we do that, there's plumbing inside the hardtop for running wires, and we put in some recessed lighting and also some speakers for the VHF radio and whatnot. It keeps the dash clean and much nicer look.
So it's a real clean installation once you install all that stuff.
Right, exactly.
Oh, that's nice.
Hey, I see him getting ready to set a low-profile tower. You want to come out and give me a hand setting it on the boat?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, Burt, as you can see, we've got the crew all set up and the crane set up. We're going to set this tower on.
Okay.
Why don't you give us a hand by grabbing the tag line.
All right.
Paul and I are going to get on the boat and
Thanks.
set the tower. As you can see, we've covered the boat from stem to stern to make sure we don't get any scratches on the fiberglass or the new paintwork. Rick's going to bring the tower forward. And when we get into position over the boat, we'll set some stands up here in the front and start lowering the back.
All right, I'm going to get on the boat.
Okay?
Okay.
Sam and Burt, they're going to go ahead and guide the back legs. And as you can see, we've got some door skins set down where the back legs are going to go. to keep it from damaging the gel coat. Paul and I will set these stands here, and when we get low enough, the back will pivot down.
All right, you're almost there.
As it's doing now.
All right, I'm down.
And there we go. Okay, Bert, the next step is to fit our front legs and our side braces.
All right.
We've already cut this one to fit. We just want to double check it, okay? What we have here where it joins the main tower leg is an inside sleeve. When we weld this, we'll weld the upper pipe to the lower pipe and to the sleeve to create extra strength in that joint.
So in the joint area, you actually have increased the thickness of your pipe then, actually. In that
Exactly,
area.
right. What we want to accomplish to finish this up, in our original drawing, we designed the tower to follow the front angle of the windshield, okay? Which we've done that, I think, quite nicely.
Yeah, it looks like it follows the line quite nice.
Right, okay. The other thing now that we're attaching this pipe to the tower is that this lines up with the upper part of the tower. We want to look at it from the front view and the side view. I think we've accomplished that. What we need to do now is take it inside, tack a mounting plate on it, and then bring it back outside and tack it on.
Okay, great.
Do you take that for me?
Sure.
Okay, what we're going to do now is tack the front leg to the mounting plate.
Okay, I'll hold this in. Well, now all we have to do is finish attaching our legs, put the rest of our accessories on our tower, and I guess this thing's ready to go, huh?
That's it.
All right, Dave, well, it's been real nice having you on Ship Shape.
Thanks, Bert. Thanks for coming.
All right.
Stay on course. Ship Shape will be right back.
The ultimate 3-in-1 boat hook from Surehold. Engineered to serve multiple purposes, this versatile 3-in-1 tool can be used as a traditional boat hook for docking and securing your vessel, for carrying a dock line to a pillar or cleat, for safely pushing off a dock space, and more. Compatible with all Surehold handles using the SureLock system, the Surehold boat hook is an essential tool for any successful boating adventure. Surehold. Clean and simple.
Chapman's Corner is brought to you by Chapman School of Seamanship.
Today on Chapman Corner, we want to take a look at the portable dry chemical fire extinguisher. And in particular, we want to look at it to make sure that it's going to work properly for you when the time arises that you may have a fire on board your vessel. First thing you need to check is the pressure gauge. This is a pressurized cylinder, contains dry chemical. You need to make sure that that arrow is in the green area on the pressure gauge. If it falls into the red area, then you've lost pressure and you need to do something about the fire extinguisher. Also, you need to keep in mind that this fire extinguisher, in order for it to be legal, has to be mounted on a bulkhead or some area. Also, from time to time, you should take your fire extinguisher, shake it upside down, because that powder tends to pack in there, and if it packs, it's not going to discharge come time you need to extinguish a fire. From Chapman School of Seamanship, this is Tom Dante.
With me today is Bob Stella, the owner of Stella Marine. I'm in Savile Harbor in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Bob, thanks for having us out.
Good to see you on this beautiful day.
Now today we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the 45-foot Carver motor yacht. Now Bob, I understand that Carver is now owned by Genmar, which is the parent company of Hatteras.
That's right, John, and what you're seeing here is a new generation in Carver yachts. We introduced the new 45 at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show. This boat also comes with a cockpit extension on the back, which is very popular today for fishing and diving, and that's known as our 50 cockpit motor yacht.
Okay.
And not only are you seeing a beautiful looking boat, a new generation, again, Carver, but a lot of the components, the quality of the Jelco, the stringer system, the way the boat is manufactured, the engineers from Hatteras have really spent a lot of attention to detail with Carver on making this the finest family cruising vessel in the water today.
Now when we talk about the price difference of a Carver versus a Hatteras, now I know that we're getting the same workmanship and the same quality, but what about the price?
Well, Hatteras is, of course, the couture line, let's say the top end of quality in the industry. And there's a reason for that. The average Hatteras today is probably 60 foot that's sold. So, of course, you're using big, powerful engines, so there's a cost factor. This boat has 420 Cummins diesels.
Nice feature.
60-foot Hatteras would probably have Detroit diesels, whether they be 671s or 6V92s or 1271s. Most of them have 1271s. Those engines are almost $200,000 each when you start putting them into a Hatteras. So, you know, from a mechanical engine factor, they're much more to begin with, okay?
Well, I know that Carver is notorious for putting some of the most beautiful interiors in a boat on the water today.
They are, John. They're space engineers. They utilize every inch of space in a boat, both in storage, beam. It's incredible. Height.
Now, with this boat, you have the Corian counters. You have the beautiful interior on all of the bulkheads. You have how many staterooms in this boat?
This one has 3 staterooms. And what's unique about the stateroom, up forward you have an island bed. So you have a beautiful guest stateroom with a private head. And I'm sure you saw the tub we have in here.
I sure did.
Large tub. And then it has another stateroom off of it, which could be an office, a computer room. If you have grandchildren, the grandchildren can be in next to their parents. And in the aft, of course, you've got another big island stateroom. You notice the French doors going into the beautiful head.
It's gorgeous.
Separate head, separate shower, and you have your separate vanity. And it closes off, so total privacy. So a lot of thought has gone into to make it user-friendly again. The galley up is a great feature. The large dinette, the large couch, the large windows, and the windows open. On a beautiful day like today, you really don't need air conditioning. It's nice and cool without the air with the windows open.
Well, with this Carver, you have all the comforts of home, Bob.
You also have a great ride. This boat will cruise at 25 miles an hour and
Fantastic.
probably burn around 22 gallons an hour, 23.
Now, that's not bad.
So now she'll top speed around 29.
Great.
So now you have performance, you have livability, and you have quality. You have all the ingredients to get out there in the water and enjoy yourself.
Along with looks. Bob, price-wise, what are we talking about?
The price is in the $400,000 range. That's loaded up with about everything which you would want on the boat.
Now, where can people come and actually preview this boat?
We have a large selection of Carver yachts at Palm Beach Gardens Marina at Savile Harbor, in West Palm Beach, and also in Stuart at my Monterey location right near the Palm City Bridge.
Well, Bob, again, I can't thank you enough for being on the show. Until next week, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Don't go away. ShipShape will be right back.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's show. I hope it was informative,
And be sure to tune in next week.
because the projects keep getting bigger and better.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
If boating's your game, then you'll agree. Ship shape is the way to be. Out on the lake or on the sea, ship shape means trouble-free. Ship shape means being neater. Ship shape makes boat work easier. Ship shape is the way to go. The Ship Shape Boat Care Show.